Sorry about that, guys. We are here once again with a Division 1 cast of LiT eSports and Balloon Grant Us Strength. I've casted both of these teams before, but I think just one game, so I don't remember too much about them. I have with me a special guest, a co-caster. You might have seen him cast other Chair League games around. Ray Ryan, welcome. Your mic may be muted because I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm just not talking.
Okay, so Ray Ryan, you're a pretty experienced Shirley caster, sorry?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, at the very least, you are quite highly ranked at the game, I think, right? Grandmaster?
Yes.
What rank are you right now?
Actually, I just got dropped from Grandmaster.
Oh, sorry to hear that, but you'll get back there, I'm sure. So Blackheart's Bay, we know the power picks here are people who can take Merc solo, like Illidan and Sonya, people who can solo dominate the bottom lane by themselves, possibly a Chen, something like that. So, and the mobility heroes like Falstad, Brightwing. Do you expect to see any other heroes here?
Especially with the new patch, Samuro, he is the greatest jungler right now.
Oh, I didn't give you the ops link yet. Let me give it to you.
I'm actually watching it on the stream, so.
Okay, well, let me give it to you in game so you can catch it live. There you go. I put it in battle in the game. Okay,
Alrighty, I'm good.
All right. So we see Samuro banned out. No surprise there, and a Kalefest ban, which is surprising. Why do you think Kalefest was banned? It's probably just a comfort ban, right? They know Balloon has a comfortable Kalefest player, maybe hundreds of games on him.
Yes, that's what it seems like right now, because after the Kael'thas nerf, I have not seen a single Kael'thas first ban for a while.
Okay, I am getting news that you are quiet, so I'm gonna turn up this audio down here. And chat, let me know if he's still super quiet. I just turned it up. Thank you for the feedback. Keep it coming. Okay, yeah, and this is a Division 1 cast. LiT eSports is 3-3, and Balloon Grant Us Strength is 1-1. So they're both looking for a win to break their 500 records. And we see, so for LiT eSports, we see Malfurion, Sylvanas, and Chen. So with Sylvanas, they're getting that pushing power they're looking for, that free structural damage. But any structural damage you can do outside of the turn-ins is very strong on this map, because it saves you essentially, 10, 20 coins. So you people like Sylvanas and Zul are very highly picked, and we see Zul and Brightwing picked up on the other side. And Chen is a dominant solo laner for that bottom lane, as I mentioned before. Who do you think can challenge Chen in a solo lane, in your experience?
Definitely Tychus. But right now, Sylvanas is a very weird pick on this map. I'm thinking that either Sylvanas is either the solo laner at the bottom, or they're going to try to do a 4-man at the bottom with the Sylvanas to push those towers and force someone down there. So they're going to need someone very strong to actually be able to get that top mid rotation.
Yeah, certainly, because they're going to have Zul up there in the 4-man rotation, and he clears waves super fast. So they're definitely going to have to find some way to challenge that. And if he manages to catch anybody split off by themselves, a bone prison into some damage should be able to kill off anyone solo. So hopefully LiT eSports has tight rotations. Yeah, and so there you go. Like a Zul ETC together can, plus the DPS can gank anyone. And there we see that might be their solo laner for Balloon Grant Us Strength, Thrall. If it is Thrall versus Chen, who wins that matchup?
No one wins that matchup, actually. Thrall will be able to sustain the Chen. Chen has this drinking. Thrall has no way to stop Chen from drinking. And eventually, Thrall will just run out of mana.
Okay. Of course, he can just do nothing but spam Qs. As long as he takes his Chain Lightning talents, he should be fine on mana, hopefully. And you're right, that's just going to end up in a stalemate. So we'll see what LiT eSports answers with. Talking about the second round of bans, we've got Johanna, which is another great wave clearer. I'm not sure if Balloon was looking to take Johanna, considering. Oh wait, but ETC didn't come out at that stage. Yeah, ETC is usually the more popular band, but they chose Joe, and then Li Ming, who I guess is kind of generally good hero on every map, and very good at poking around the turn-ins here. We see the next pick come out is Vala. She's just a very steady, probably the most steady ranged DPS auto attacker right now, and very hard to catch out if the player's smart. And we'll keep an eye out on how well the Vala player manages her hatred stacks, which usually determines how well she does in a game. Do you think the Q build could work on this map? Because since the fights take place around the turn-ins, there really aren't things, and right now if the fights take place around the turn-ins, there are no extra minions that Balloon Granta's strength is spawning to kind of soak up some of the Q shots.
If you think about, yes, now Vala can actually go auto attack build here. They have the Chen and the Kerrigan in the front line. Without the Kerrigan, before your question, Thrall actually could have just ran through Chen and just started attacking Vala. But with the Kerrigan, Thrall will have the pressure that Vala needs to be able to just continuously throw out auto attacks.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's when I like to play Vala as well in Hero League, is when I see two frontliners on my team to give me the space, because to auto attack you do need people distracting the other team, so they're not focusing on your low HP. So we'll see what the last pick coming out from Balloon Granta's strength is. They're still missing a good creep, like a mercenary taker, I feel. So they could still go Illidan or Sonya, maybe. I think Sonya would probably be a little bit stronger, but then they're ending up with 4 melee, so maybe they're not going to do that. And we actually see Sergeant Hammer. So that's interesting, picking Sergeant Hammer into a Chen Kerrigan and a Malfurion, actually, who can root her pretty much guaranteed. What do you think about that?
As you said before, they have 3 frontliners. Sergeant Hammer should not be the priority here, with especially with Zul Bone Prison. If someone gets Bone Prison, they're going to be the priority target, and the defending team from that Bone Prison needs to defend that person that's getting trapped.
Yeah, that's true. So they've got a lot of distractions for Hammer, kind of the same thing we said for Vala, and Hammer should outrange the Vala, at least until level 20, so...
And here's another thing, especially since they have 3 melees, I don't feel like Brightwing is going to be taking Blink Heal. He's going to be taking the Emerald Wing, and so that'll be another defensive ability to help the Hammer.
Yeah, so then how do you think LiT has to take these fights in order to get a win? Because it seems pretty rough for them then. Maybe Chen can take Barrel. I mean, all we see usually is Panda Pals, but if he takes Barrel to get Hammer out of position, maybe that's one way they can do it.
But right now, all I'm seeing is they need to find an opportunity. The opportunity is if Thrall goes in first, Sylvanas needs to blow that Welling Arrow on Thrall, and they need to blow up Thrall immediately. Force the other team to go back, or even if they don't go back, they'll have to do a 4v5 fight.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, they do still have... maybe... I guess their split pushing options are shut down by Zul, kind of, so... Because they don't really have that avenue either. And Brightwing to split soak, so... The mobility advantage is on Balloon's side.
Yes, and you also have to take in mind that this is Blackheart's Bay. The top and middle, they're very not split, so there is no way to go through the middle from top and mid. It's only the left side or the right side, so rotating between top and mid is very safe.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if they try to put Zul in the by himself on the top 2 lanes, because he can handle 2 lanes by himself, but since he has to push his lanes are usually pushed fairly far, it can be very easy to gank him if he's by himself, so I always like to see him in the 4-man rotation personally.
Yes, but you also have to keep in mind that they have the Brightwing to be able to help the Zul out if anything happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so we're starting the game here. Once again, this is a Division 1 cast of LiT eSports and Balloon Grant Us Strength. And here is where I like to read their about pages on their on their chair league page. And let's see what they wrote in their descriptions. Right, okay, I remember this. LiT eSports, all they say is fire red. Okay. And then on Balloon Grant Us Strength, they didn't even fill out their about. That's kind of lazy. I think I remember this actually. Like I said, I casted both these teams before, so.
It's interesting you say fire red because their other one I've seen, it's called LiT Leaf Green. So that has something to do with some sort of Pokemon for the GBA
That's
franchise.
right. I casted Leaf Green a couple of times as well. Okay, so introducing LiT Esports, we have Unknown Soul on Kerrigan, Red Vendel, the captain, on Malfurion, Roses in Hell on Sylvanas, Akuma on Chen, and Aerolivia on Avala.
And on the side of Balloon, we're going to have GGGGGGG3 on Thrall, Mr. Arigato on ETC, Junko on that Zul, Bert Macklin on Brightwing, and finally Jix on the Sergeant Hammer.
Okay, so interestingly, it looks like they're sending Hammer solo bottom. I don't like that configuration personally. And they do jump on him, but he'll be okay. And Sylvanas is getting so much damage on the wall here. And oh, nice stun over the wall by Kerrigan, but they're not going to be able to capitalize on that. They do get like 80% off that tower though, so that's some free damage.
I also felt like they knew that LiT had the Sylvanas combination, so they should have set more people bottom earlier.
Yeah, bottom is usually the popular popular lane to rush here. The boss isn't very important usually on this map, so you don't see the top lane being more important, as with most maps with bosses, where the boss lane is usually more prioritized. So the chests are up, but it looks like LiT is going to give up the top one and try to take the bottom one, but it's a straight 3-on-3 fight on the bottom, and it looks like Brightwing is keeping his team up much better than Malfurion is for now.
And you saw that Sergeant Hammer was just sieged the whole time, not taking one bit of damage.
Yeah, so I mean, even though they only have the one frontliner here to deal with any pressure, they've also only got their one frontliner in Chen here to try and pressure her. So yeah, she's feeling super safe right now. And we see up top, we see the coin camps that spawn, but no one's going after them. Chen's actually just turning in his 4 coins, maybe smartly. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few minutes. Looking at the level 1 talents, we have Shando's Clarity, Overflowing Quiver, Elusive Brawler, Hot Pursuit, and Siphoning Impact. Interesting that Siphoning Impact is being taken here. I guess maybe with Zul's extra skeleton, she's banking on extra heals off that. Because if there's fights in the at the turn-in, she's not going to get much value out of that Siphoning Impact. Okay, so looking at the bottom lane, looks like the pressure has completely reversed, and Hammer is just freely sieging this tower. Chen does come back, though, to try and pressure him after getting 2 more coins from his coin camp. And looks like Thrall's turn is turning in. Neither team is guarding this turn-in at all. And Balloon actually has 10 coins, so it feels like LiT might want to put some resources into that. And look at this Hammer just doing so much work, completely equalizing, or actually even taking the structural advantage. Actually, mid though, Sylvanas is getting a lot of damage done, and Zul's being pressured back. And this is why I say I don't like Zul being by himself. Oh, actually, Chen's getting gone on, getting jumped out of his own siege camp. And looks like Vala and Malfurion can't even come back to help him. Brightwing's gonna get greedy and go deep for these coins, and it looks like he might make it out. Sylvanas comes in to join though, and now Balloon is caught really deep, but nice power slide by ETC. Malfurion looks like he should go down. Oh my goodness, Sylvanas makes it away, Malfurion makes it away, and here comes Kerrigan to clean up. So ETC will make it away because power slide is amazing, but... Or will he? Vala has Hot Pursuit going, so she's just going to chase him down. Look at her keeping up those those hatred stacks up to keep her movement speed up, and wow, they just clean up 3. That invade did not work out at all. And all the meantime, Zul's getting all this pressure top. So wow, that was a huge... That was actually not that bad, it turns out, because they've got like about half a level lead. LiT eSports does get the first turn in though, and did they do enough damage to the front wall for the fort to come down? I think it might have, yeah. It looks like Zul is getting caught, but like you said before, Brightwing is there to help him.
So we're going to see hyper cooling coming from the hammer at level 7. That talent is very overpowered since it reduces the cooldown of his Z by 50%. So that reduces it from about 30, exactly 30 to 15. And his speed is for 4 seconds, so it's only an 11-second cooldown. So he can use that almost instantly right after he finishes it.
Yeah, and she got a bit big for her britches there, though, deciding to face check and try to challenge the Merc camp, knowing that the enemy team was just there clearing it up. So I don't know about that decision, and they do sneak in a turn-in though. Thrall, like I said, neither team is like even protecting the turn-in at all, which is very unusual. If anything, you know, in the pub games, you know, you have people who overprotect the turn-in, so it's very weird to see this reversal. And it looks like they're just giving Balloon is just giving up their bottom fort here. Chen and Vala is just standing there hitting it. ETC's doing what he can, but there's nothing he can do, and the rotation's going to come out too slowly from Balloon to even punish them for it. And Vala even picks up the 2 coins that were kind of sitting at the Merc camp there that nobody picked up. Oh, Chen face checks the vent there though, and is going to end up paying for it. Meanwhile, though, at the top, there's just action going on everywhere in this game. Everyone's split off and getting advantages all across the map. We see LiT is level 10, and Malfurion takes Tranquility. He is a solo healer, so it's not super surprising, but even in the solo healer role, we've seen quite a few Malfurions take Twilight Dream. And it looks like Balloon's turning in more coins, not wanting to risk giving them up like they, you know, maybe if they decide to invade the siege camp again. Hopefully they don't, though. Last time it turned out not so well for them. And we do see Wandering Keg for the Panda. And Rain of Vengeance for Vala as well. So all the control ults.
Yes, they really need those ultimates to stop the mosh pit, and we do see Brightwing take the Emerald win here.
Oh, and here comes the Wandering Keg. Vala, can she make it? She actually survives! Wow, where was that centering earlier? I feel like if Thrall threw it out earlier, Vala was dead 100%. And instead, it looks like they're going to give up 3 at the turn-in instead. So it looks like all those ultimates being used and paying off on the side of LiT eSports. Whereas, you know, Zul didn't even join the fight, actually. So kind of questionable to even try to take that fight without your full team.
And it's looking really hard for ETC to be able to pull off a mosh pit.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know how he's supposed to get his mosh pit off with Keg, Wailing Arrow, and 2 charges of Rain of Vengeance. And we see an aggressive coin steal here. And they will even get away. They just get away with Grand Theft pirate coins. I don't know. And now we see Balloon is just taking so much pressure. It's taking so much map pressure. They don't have any real answer to this since they're not grouping up, and they're leaving Zul to solo, who can't join them in a second like Brightwing can. And 2 people get picked off once again, and the Wandering Keg isolates Thrall and makes sure he can't get away either. And with Sylvanas, this should be a lot of damage. Look at them jumping over the wall with 2 jumpers, and Sylvanas disabling the keep. He'll even make it out of this just fine. Oh my goodness, they're just turning this little advantage they managed to get in the mid game and pushing for a keep here. Oh my god. Now the mages are down, so Zul is finally grouped up to try and fight, but here comes the Tranquility, the Wailing Arrow, all their ults are back up other than Keg, of course, which was just used, and they're just going to get away scot-free.
And you also saw there in the battle that the mosh pit actually came up, and it was only there for about a split second, and it was gone.
Oh yeah, like yeah. Now that you mentioned it, it is on cooldown, but I didn't even catch it. I didn't even hear it.
But the thing about Zul going back was I did not like his idea of going back because they're level 12 right now, so the respawn timers are really short. So what he did by going back was lose the soak on mid and top there because they knew that they weren't going to go cool because the cooldowns because the respawn times are so short.
Yeah, that's right. I guess he was hoping he would help save the keep, but there was no way he was going to do that anyway. With all his teammates dead for another 10 seconds or so at least. And yeah, you're right. Now they can't fight at all. They just have to give up the turn in because they don't have their 13 talent. And speaking of the 13 talents, we see Shrink Ray, Rin Runner, Pressure Point, Tempered by Blitz, Discipline, and Double Strike. So nothing too out of the ordinary here. In fact, pretty standard talents all around for everyone. Seeing like the full skeleton build, or well, not full, but at least the early skeleton build from Zul to get that lane pressure. But all the lane pressure he's tried to get is pretty much for naught. They only have one fort, and is LiT eSports setting up for the boss, or just maybe a fake boss here?
Yes, this looks like a bait because Kerrigan was waiting there for about 20 seconds.
Oh no, they are actually going to start it, and they are doing it quite quickly, but this is kind of the only way Balloon gets back into the game, I feel. So I'm not sure this was a necessary risk to take. It looks like they are going to get it, though. Oh, nice root by Malfurion there, and with the follow-up silence. And they do get the boss, and everyone on Balloon is already very low. And 3 end up going down before you could even bat an eye. And I think everyone, you see LiT actually commit all their ultimates all at once, and that is pretty good synergy because staggering them if you end up not getting the kills, then you're gonna regret it. So, and with the death timers, you know, it's gonna cool down your ultimates, and you might have them back up before they come back anyway. So, or when you have to fight again. And it looks like Hammer got jumped there as well. And oh my goodness, this is just turning. Yeah, they just turned losing that objective into losing the game completely. And yeah, I don't think they'll stop at this keep. They're gonna take the game probably. And even if they don't, they have yet another turn-in in coins. So, oh, ETC gets caught out there. Wow, look at that burst ability from Chen plus Kerrigan and Vala. Of course, with the Cold Embrace on Sylvanas level 16, even ETC just goes down like paper. And that was the game. Wow, 12-minute game, just under 12 minutes on Blackheart's Bay. That turned around in a... well, not turned around, but that kind of the advantage that LiT eSports was exacerbated in a hurry. You know, it looked kind of even. They both hit 10, and then suddenly they decided to push bot, and then they got a couple of kills bot, and then with Sylvanas just pushed their advantage, got a keep, and then from there was no looking back.
And on the side of LiT, even though this was not a Kerrigan team, after level 10, it looked like Kerrigan took it upon herself to actually make that happen. Just for the reason that it couldn't have been a Kerrigan team just because they had the Vala, the extra carry there. But it seemed like both Kerrigan and Vala were doing very well. Vala especially because she was not able to get attacked whatsoever. She's one of the squishiest heroes in the game, but with the Kerrigan in the front line, Kerrigan is a priority target, which makes Vala the second priority target, so they have to be able to kill the Kerrigan first, but Kerrigan was just not going down.
Yeah, and we see, I always like to give special shoutouts to the people who died 0 times in a game, and we see 4 people from LiT eSports doing that, and it's all the backliners. Only Chen was caught a couple of times in the game, so good job to them. And we do see Vala, you know, leading the game in hero damage. She did keep all her hatred stacks up a lot, and I recently learned from you know, Discord chat that apparently when you go strafe, I mean, this had nothing to do with this game because she went Rain of Vengeance, but apparently when you strafe, your hatred stacks don't decay. Did you know that?
I hope it doesn't because no, but I felt like she could have gone straight, but she wanted to go the Reign of Vengeance because they wanted to get rid of the ETC's mosh pit as soon as possible with as many people as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think EDC should have taken stage dive? We've seen stage dive a lot more often since.
Yeah, yeah, stage dive is good, but you got to look at the enemy team. The only person that's not mobile on their team is Malfurion. But it's not even about the mosh pit. It's the ability to know that you can mosh pit your enemy is what scares the enemy. It's not really about using the mosh pit.
Yeah. Okay, so then what do you think? What do you think Balloon could have done differently in this game, or should have done differently to kind of take back the game, or have not have the game go this way?
Yes. What Zool was doing very well. 11K experience, exactly like Sylvanas. But Sylvanas had the extra experience because she was actually pushing towers. She was getting those towers down. So Zool was actually even in experience with the Sylvanas, just soaking those top 2 lanes. What should have happened was every time there was a 4v5 fight at the bottom lane, Balloon should not have fought. They should have just given up whatever they were gonna take, because they had the Sylvanas. They even if they were behind a fort or a keep, Sylvanas would have just stopped it anyway. So they had to give up whatever they were going for. They were actually going to lose, and instead of actually dying, they could have been a head-in experience if they didn't die, and they would have just given up their objectives, let Zul do his soaking, whatever he was doing. They would have been fine in the levels.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just as a team, they needed to be able to be okay giving up objectives, essentially. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And we usually don't see a Black Hearts Bay game in an end in 12 minutes, so that was pretty scary. Pretty decisive shot calling from LiT eSports to just end it. So congratulations to LiT. They moved to 4-3 in the division. Balloon Granted Strength moves to 1-2, so hopefully they can bounce back next week. Thank you to all the viewers for watching. If you liked the cast, please give me a follow. Special thanks to my co-caster Ray Ryan, recently Grandmaster player, and all his insights helping me out. Where can they find you, Ray?
I don't know. It's twitch.tv/Ray2R or Ray Ryan number 1420.
Okay, so and I'm gonna just talk about it because you've asked me to mention it on air before, but apparently Ray has really lovely hair, so I'm just gonna give a shout out to your hair then.
It's luscious and beautiful.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a shot of it someday. All right, so thank you for joining me, guys, on this beautiful Friday night. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Congratulations to LiT, and good night, everybody.